Let me ask you something. Do you go to bed feeling okay, but then wake up in the morning, and the moment your feet hit the floor, your knees just scream at you? Stiff ache that takes a few steps to shake off, or maybe it never fully goes away. And by afternoon, it's grinding, making simple things, like walking to the kitchen or getting up from couch, feel like a real effort. But what if I told you that something simple, what you drink before bed, could change how you wake up in the morning? Not a pill, not a prescription, a drink. I'm going to share with you 5 bedtime drinks backed by real science that can help reduce knee pain, calm inflammation overnight, and help you move easier when you get up in the morning. Before we get into the drinks, I want to take just a moment to talk about why knee pain gets worse at night, and why mornings can feel like the hardest part of the day. You see, when you sleep, your body goes into repair mode. That's a good thing, but for people dealing with joint inflammation, something else happens too. While you're lying still for 7 or 8 hours, the fluid around your knee joint, called synovial fluid, becomes less active. Think of it like a car engine that's been sitting in the cold all night. When you first try to move it, everything feels stiff and resistant. On top of that, inflammatory compounds in your body, things called cytokines and prostaglandins, tend to peak in the early morning hours. This is actually well documented in research on arthritis. It's why so many people with knee problems say mornings are their worst time. Now here's the good news. Certain natural compounds, found in everyday foods and drinks, have been shown to directly reduce these inflammatory markers. And when you consume them at night, your body gets to work while you sleep, so you wake up with less inflammation already working against you. That's the idea behind everything I'm sharing with you today. So let's get into it. 5 drinks, real benefits, and practical tips for making each one part of your evening routine. First drink on our list is one that's been used in traditional medicine for over 4,000 years and is now being confirmed by modern science. It's called golden milk, and its star ingredient is turmeric. Now, you've probably heard of turmeric. It's that bright yellow spice in curry. But there's something inside turmeric called curcumin, and curcumin is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds ever studied. Here's how it works. Curcumin blocks something called NF-κB, a molecule in your body that tells your genes to produce inflammation. Think of NF-κB as a switch that turns inflammation on. Curcumin goes in and helps turn that switch off. Multiple clinical studies have looked at curcumin and knee pain specifically. One study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that patients with knee osteoarthritis who took curcumin reported significantly less pain and better physical function, comparable to ibuprofen, but without the stomach side effects. That's significant, because many seniors can't tolerate long-term use of ibuprofen or other NSAIDs. They cause stomach bleeding, raise blood pressure, and affect kidney function over time. Turmeric doesn't do those things. Now, here's something critical that most people don't know. Curcumin on its own is very poorly absorbed by the body. You could eat turmeric all day and your bloodstream would barely notice. But add black pepper, which contains a compound called piperine, and absorption goes up by as much as 2,000%. That's not a typo, 2,000%. So your golden milk recipe needs to include both. Here's a simple recipe. 1 cup of warm milk. Dairy or plant-based both work well. Oat milk and almond milk are great options. 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder. A small pinch of black pepper. Just a tiny pinch is enough. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. This adds flavor and also has mild, anti-inflammatory properties. A small drizzle of honey if you'd like a little sweetness. Warm it gently on the stove. Don't boil it. Stir it all together and drink it about 30 to 45 minutes before you go to sleep. A few important notes for seniors. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin, talk to your doctor before adding large amounts of turmeric to your routine. Curcumin has mild, blood-thinning properties. Same if you take diabetes medication, as turmeric can affect blood sugar slightly. But for the vast majority of people, a cup of golden milk at night is completely safe, wonderfully soothing, and genuinely helpful. Many people who start this routine report that within 2 to 3 weeks, they notice their mornings feel easier, their knees feel less locked up, they move a little more freely right after waking. Give it at least 2 weeks before you judge it. Consistency is everything with natural remedies. Drink number 2, tart cherry juice. The second drink might surprise you, duds, because it doesn't look like a remedy. It looks like something you'd enjoy on a summer afternoon. It's tart cherry juice, and the research behind this one is genuinely impressive. Tart cherries, not the sweet ones, but the tart or sour variety, sometimes called Montmorency cherries, are loaded with compounds called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give the cherries their deep red color, and they are extraordinarily powerful anti-inflammatories. In fact, some researchers have described anthocyanins as working similarly to COX-1 and COX-2 inhibitors, which is exactly how common anti-inflammatory medications like ibuprofen and aspirin work, except you're getting this effect from a fruit. A study from the Osteoarthritis and Cartilage Journal looked at patients with knee osteoarthritis who drank tart cherry juice twice a day for 6 weeks. The results showed meaningful reductions in markers of inflammation, specifically a protein called C-reactive protein, which is one of the main indicators of joint inflammation in the body. But here's something else tart cherry juice does that makes it perfect for a bedtime drink specifically. Tart cherries are one of the few natural food sources of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. So not only is this drink working on your inflammation while you sleep, it may actually help you get to sleep and sleep more deeply. For older adults, many of whom struggle with sleep quality, that's a remarkable bonus. How to use it? Look for 100% pure tart cherry juice, not a cocktail blend or something with added sugar. You'll often find it in health food stores or online. Brands like R.W. Knudsen or Cherubundi are popular options. Drink about 8 ounces, roughly 1 small glass, about an hour before bed. If the taste is too strong or tart for you, mix it with a little water or sparkling water. Some people enjoy it slightly warmed in winter. One caution, tart cherry juice does contain natural sugars, so if you're managing diabetes or watching your blood sugar carefully, start with a smaller amount, maybe 4 ounces, and monitor how your body responds. And as always, check with your doctor if you're on any medications, just to be safe. But for most people over 60 who wake up with stiff, aching knees, this is one of the most evidence-backed, enjoyable, and easy-to-adopt nighttime habits you can start this week. Drink number 3, ginger and honey. Warm tea. Most of us know ginger as a cooking ingredient, maybe something we add to stir-fry or bake into cookies around the holidays. But ginger is far more than a flavor. It contains powerful bioactive compounds, most notably one called gingerol. And gingerol has been shown in study after study to reduce inflammation in the body in a very specific and meaningful way. Here's the science, explained simply. When your knee is inflamed, whether from osteoarthritis, an old injury, or years of wear and tear, your body is releasing chemicals called prostaglandins that signal pain to your brain. These are the same chemicals that aspirin and ibuprofen work to suppress. Gingerol does something remarkably similar. It inhibits the enzymes that produce those prostaglandins. Less prostaglandins, less pain signal, less morning stiffness. A landmark study published in Arthritis and Rheumatism followed patients with knee osteoarthritis over an 8-week period. Those who received a concentrated ginger extract reported significantly greater reductions in knee pain, both at rest and when standing, compared to those who received a placebo. And a more recent review of multiple clinical trials confirmed that ginger supplementation consistently reduces both pain and disability in people with osteoarthritis. But the benefits go even further for seniors specifically. Here's how to make your nighttime ginger tea. Take a fresh piece of ginger root, about the size of your thumb. Slice it into thin coins. No need to peel it. Add the slices to 2 cups of water in a small saucepan. Bring it to a gentle simmer, not a rolling boil, for about 10 minutes. Strain it into your mug. Add 1 teaspoon of raw honey. Honey has its own mild anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. A squeeze of lemon is optional but lovely. It adds vitamin C, which supports collagen production in the joints. Drink this warm, about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Practical tip for seniors. If slicing fresh ginger feels like too much effort on some nights, and that's completely understandable, high-quality ginger tea bags are a perfectly good alternative. Look for ones with real ginger extract, not just ginger flavoring. Brands like Yogi, Traditional Medicinals, and Puka make solid options that are easy to find at most grocery stores. One caution worth mentioning: ginger, like turmeric, has mild blood-thinning properties. If you're taking warfarin, clopidogrel, or other anticoagulant medications, check with your doctor before making this a nightly habit. Otherwise, for most healthy older adults, ginger tea is one of the safest and most effective things you can add to your evening. Start with this 3 nights in a row and pay attention to how your knees feel on the 3rd morning. Many people are genuinely surprised. Drink number 4, chamomile and magnesium tea. Our 4th drink is one that works on knee pain from a completely different angle, and it may be the most underrated one on this entire list. It's chamomile tea, but with a very important addition: magnesium. Let me explain why this combination is so powerful for seniors with knee pain. First, chamomile on its own. Most people think of chamomile as simply a relaxing bedtime tea, something to help you unwind. And yes, it does help with sleep. But chamomile also contains a flavonoid called apigenin, which has been shown to have genuine anti-inflammatory effects, inhibiting the same inflammatory pathways that contribute to joint pain. Now, here's where magnesium comes in, and this is the part I really want you to pay attention to. Magnesium deficiency is extraordinarily common in people over 60. Studies estimate that up to 70 to 80% of older adults don't get enough magnesium from their diet. And magnesium plays a critical role in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body, including muscle relaxation, nerve function, and importantly, inflammation regulation. When magnesium levels are low, the body has a harder time controlling inflammatory responses. Muscles around the knee tighten more easily and don't release as smoothly. Nighttime leg cramps become more frequent. Sleep becomes more disrupted. How to make this drink? Brew 1 bag of high-quality chamomile tea. Steep it for 5 to 7 minutes for maximum apigenin content. While it's still warm, not boiling, stir in 1 teaspoon of magnesium powder. The most widely recommended forms for absorption are magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate. These are gentler on the digestive system than magnesium oxide, which is the cheapest form and the least well absorbed. Add a little honey if desired. You can find magnesium powder supplements at most pharmacies and health food stores. Natural Calm is one of the most popular and well-reviewed brands, and it dissolves easily into warm liquids. Start with a smaller dose, around 100 to 150 milligrams, and see how your body responds before working up to the standard 300 to 400 milligrams range. Some people find that magnesium has a gentle laxative effect when they first start. This is normal and usually settles within a week or 2. Drink this 45 minutes before bed. Within 1 to 2 weeks, many seniors report not just less knee pain in the morning, but also deeper sleep, fewer nighttime cramps, and a quieter mind when they lie down. That's the power of addressing the deficiency that most people don't even know they have. Drink number 5, collagen bone broth. And now, our 5th drink. And this one is perhaps the most directly targeted at the structural health of your knee joints. It's bone broth, specifically bone broth that's rich in collagen. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Bone broth sounds like something your grandmother made on the stove all day. And honestly, she was onto something. Here's the science. Your knee joint is cushioned by cartilage, a firm but flexible tissue that sits between your bones and absorbs shock. Cartilage is made largely of collagen, specifically type 2 collagen. As we age, our bodies produce less and less of it. By the time you're in your 60s or 70s, collagen production may have dropped by 30 to 40% compared to when you were young. Bone broth provides collagen in a form that is already partially broken down, called gelatin, making it easier for your body to absorb and use. It also contains glycine, an amino acid that has its own anti-inflammatory properties and supports deep, restorative sleep. It contains glucosamine and chondroitin, compounds that are literally the building blocks of cartilage and are sold as expensive supplements in health food stores. And it's rich in minerals like calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium. In other words, one warm cup of good bone broth before bed is essentially a joint health supplement in a mug. How to use it? If you're making it from scratch, simmer beef or chicken bones with a splash of apple cider vinegar for at least 12 to 24 hours. The vinegar helps pull minerals out of the bones, then strain and refrigerate. When cooled, good bone broth will gel. That gelatin is exactly what you want. But I completely understand that not everyone has the time or energy for that. Store-bought bone broth works too. Look for brands that specify high collagen content or show a protein content of at least 9 to 10 grams per cup. Kettle and Fire, Bare Bones, and Pacific Foods are well-regarded options. Warm 1 cup gently on the stove. Add a pinch of sea salt if desired. Drink it slowly, like a soup, about 30 to 60 minutes before sleep. Make it a nightly ritual, the way you might have a cup of tea, because the benefits of collagen are cumulative. They build over weeks and months. Many people find that after 4 to 6 weeks of nightly bone broth, their knee pain has meaningfully reduced. Their mornings feel less rigid, and they're moving more comfortably through the day. And there's something else worth saying. There is something genuinely nourishing about a warm cup of broth in the evening. It signals to your body and your mind that the day is winding down, that it's time to rest and repair, that you are taking care of yourself. And at the end of the day, that intention matters just as much as the nutrients. Before we wrap up, let me quickly answer the questions I hear most often. How long before I feel a difference? Give it at least 2 to 3 weeks of consistency. Some people notice easier mornings in the first week. For deeper joint relief, especially with bone broth and tart cherry juice, allow 6 to 8 weeks. Natural remedies are slow and steady, but they're real. Can I drink more than 1 per evening? Yes, just don't overdo it. A good pairing is tart cherry juice earlier in the evening and chamomile magnesium tea closer to bedtime. Pick 2 at most. Quality over quantity. I have diabetes. Are these safe? Most are fine. Just watch the tart cherry juice. Go with a smaller 4-ounce portion. Skip the honey and golden milk or use very little. Ginger tea, chamomile, and bone broth are all excellent low-sugar choices. My pain is from an old injury, not arthritis. Will these still help? Absolutely. Whether it's arthritis or an old injury, inflammation is still the root of the pain. Every drink on this list targets inflammation directly. Are there foods that cancel out these benefits? Yes. Sugary drinks, processed snacks, and fried foods actively fuel inflammation. You don't have to be perfect, but cutting back on those gives these drinks a much better chance to work. That's everything for today. Pick 1 drink from this list, just 1, and try it tonight. Your knees have been carrying you your whole life. It's time to give something back. If this helped you, hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe so you never miss a video. We're here every week with simple, natural tips to help you feel your best at any age. I'll see you in the next one. Take good care.